Hey, Sagittarius, intuitive soul coach here with your July 2023 love and family reading. Welcome back to my channel if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. These are general readings, so please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you are interested in a personal reading or entering into the free monthly reading giveaway, you can find both of those links in the description box below. All right, you received a couple of bonus cards, which I love. Not everyone receives bonuses, but sometimes this is what you do not see coming, or it can be what you're working on manifesting. And your bonus cards here, you have a sweet surprise showing up here in the month of July. And you also have smooth transition with the pipe. Now, a lot of messages coming through here for you in regards to love and family. First off, I'm getting a throat chakra activation. Sagittarius, there may have been something that you've suppressed, that you've held down, some sort of emotion, feeling, words, conversation that you weren't quite ready to speak about. I feel like July is the month for you to get something off your chest, or to get something out in the open, or to tell someone how you really feel. And that will allow you more freedom, more liberation. Instead of holding back, it's going to give you more opportunities. It's going to allow you to not hold back. And that's what I feel has been happening, even though there's been growth showing up here in the past, because you do have the forest. This talks about steady growth. There's something here that you needed to or had to stay determined on. I'm getting here the Seven of Wands energy, the Six of Swords as well. So this can be the light at the end of the tunnel. Some of you may have gone through what they call a dark night of the soul. There could have been some challenges when it comes to family dynamics. Now, this is interesting. They're giving me, some of you felt overlooked, maybe overseen. You didn't feel quite as accomplished or loved or worthy as maybe your siblings, okay? So this could be what your siblings thought about you. Maybe they said, well, dad, you were dad's favorite, you were mom's favorite, or maybe you thought that way about your siblings as well. That's coming in. But I'm also getting, when it comes to romantic love, regardless of relationship status, some of you have felt, or you do feel at times, that you go unnoticed, that your hard work goes unnoticed, or you don't feel seen or heard, or when you do say something that someone isn't fully there or doesn't fully listen. That's coming in strong here for you, Sagittarius. So it could be that you have a conversation with this person and you let them know. Now, some of you are saying, Melissa, I have had that conversation and nothing changes. There is something here that is changing. It's either the way that you say it is shifting the energy, or it could be that you've completed or finished up a cycle. Because again, in the past, there has been growth. There's been self-development. There has been achievement within oneself, self-mastery through awareness. Even though sometimes you get knocked down 5 times, you get up 6, right? So I am getting this energy here of growth and determination and strength, Sagittarius. I'm also getting a lot of fire energy. Even though you are fire, some of you could be dealing with another fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This could be a family member or a lover or a child. We have the horse showing up in July. This is all about freedom to move. I also just seen horses on the beach. So some of you, maybe you're traveling, you're vacationing, or you are going down memory lane during a time that was very fun, very enjoyable, very momentous. I feel like you are taking a little bit of path, a little bit of that memory reflection, Six of Cups energy. But ultimately here, Sag, you are planting the seeds to a new beginning. You have the dandelion, and I love to call this my wishing flower. It reminds me of the Nine of Cups. So when this wishing flower shows up for you, what is it that you are wanting to manifest in your world? What does family represent? What does family feel like to you? What are your beliefs around family? I feel like you are planting the seeds to be very successful when it comes to your future outcome for love and family. Now, for some of you, you've been through a rocky road. I see that. Some of you also like rocky road ice cream is what I'm hearing as well. Rocky road ice cream. Some of you may live near or in the Rockies as well, or maybe you are visiting the Rockies. There's something here with Rocky. I mean, that could be symbolic for rocky relationships, of course, but there's something with the Rockies. All right, please take that as it resonates. The seeds that you have planted, I feel have already started to scatter out into the wind. So for those of you that are looking for love, I feel like there is new opportunities coming in here for you. And it could sweep you off your feet for some of you. I'm getting Knight of Cups energy, sweet surprise with the berries. Some of you are going to receive a compliment, many of them, on your appearance, on your looks, on your skills, on your intelligence, whatever this may be for you. But pay attention to the compliments. Now, some of you Sagittarians, when you do receive a compliment, you may brush it away, brush it off, or say, oh no, these ratty things, nah, right? If someone says, oh, Sagittarius, I love your shirt. Oh, this ratty thing, it's nothing, right? Own it. Own it, Sagittarius. If someone gives you a compliment, own it. Say, thank you. I love this shirt too. It's my favorite, right? Or if someone says, wow, you have a lot of talent in this area, instead of saying, no, not really, or I could do better, I want you to start taking a look at how you receive compliments, because that can be a huge indicator on how you receive the blessings and how worthy you feel of achieving and receiving those blessings, okay? Because there's surprises coming in here for you. Let's dive into the heart of the matter. What's the heart of the matter? Now, I am getting, again, Six of Swords. I do feel here Knight of Cups. There's liberation. There's freedom. There's new beginnings, so possibly Fool. What do we have here? Six of Pentacles. I'll take the six as well. Six of Pentacles is all about reciprocity, equal give, equal take. This is about generous giving. And we were just talking about people giving you compliments, people helping and supporting. Sometimes we have this built-in default system that says, no, I can do everything myself. I'm independent. I don't need anyone. I can carry, 60 grocery bags on both arms. I don't have to make 5 trips. I can just make one as you're, keeling over by the time and 5 bags have ripped and the apples are pouring out everywhere, right? You do not have to go through this step alone or this phase. Now, some of you are saying, yes, I know that, Melissa. I don't want to go through it alone. Take a deep dive into your belief system about being alone, about independence, about giving and receiving. And this is exactly what we were just tuning into. So beautiful clarifier there, because in the past there may have been, unbalanced, or something may have been one-sided, or maybe you grew up in that family dynamic where, there were favorites, and that has stemmed or integrated maybe into your dating world or into your family life. And I feel like you're trying not to do that. If you have children of your own, you're trying to keep it balanced. You're trying to do the best you can to make people not feel left out, because you know exactly how that feels. Now let's take a look at the challenge, Sag. What's the challenge? Some of you are overcoming some deep trauma. This could be emotional abuse, physical, sexual. Please take it as it resonates. What's the challenge here, and how can we help Sag overcome it? There's that Six of Swords. So look at all these sixes. Right? We said the Six of Six of Swords. We said the Six of Cups. Here's the Six of Pentacles. Sixes represent harmony, problem solving, but also taking responsibility for our part in our healing. Yes, sometimes things happen for us, things that seem unfair, things that are challenging, things that are traumatic, things that we struggle with, right? It's part of that human experience. Pain is inevitable. And I just said this in, I believe, Scorpio's reading. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice, right? There's always going to be some sort of level of pain when we have this soul journey here on earth. But the suffering piece is completely up to you. And there was a situation here where you were or felt reluctant to change. Maybe you didn't know how to change. There's something here with knowledge and power and being able to reach out. And sometimes we think that we have to do it ourselves. There's that independence piece, that stubborn piece, right? The egoic piece. This is about you getting out of that, no longer hanging on to that, and knowing that help and resources are available to you if you open up and receive. This is about needed change. So don't be reluctant. It's okay to break some old patterns or some old habits. Now, some of you may have the mentality of, well, it's gonna be this way. There's nothing I can do about it, right? I hear that sometimes, not necessarily from clients, but I've heard that in my own family dynamics where they say, well, that's gonna happen. I might as well just keep doing what I'm doing. Okay, well, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna keep getting the same results. You know what the definition of that is, right? Say it with me. Insanity. It's insane to keep doing the same thing and expect something different. And that's what's happening here. Not calling you insane, not calling you out here. Maybe some of you feel like you have insane family members, but I do feel here that change is coming in here and you're ready for it. But there may have been a pattern that you were repeating, that you were hoping for a different outcome, but you're getting the same thing. That's about to shift. You have freedom here. There's liberation. A lot of you Sagittarians have completed a very important, maybe karmic, maybe healing, maybe ancestral pattern or cycle in your world. Let's take a look at your deep, deep past. What's the foundation here? What's the foundation? There's the world. There's the completion. Beautiful. This is about triumphant completion. In the past, some of you, it was a hollow completion. Okay. Some of you felt empty, even though you had come out of something. Possibly there is this emptiness. And I feel this time around, there's more success. There's more completion. You may have had to try again and try again and try again. There could have been an energy here of sobriety as well, whether this was you or someone in the family. And sometimes with sobriety, whether it's, coming clean from substances or from drugs, sometimes you fail, right? A lot of people don't get it that first time around and they have to try again and try again. And it may feel, empty or hollow, but the more you stick to it, the more you stay consistent, the more that sense of achievement comes in here. And I feel for some of you, you've struggled with a family member who was addicted to something. It doesn't have to be substance or drugs. These days, there's so many things out there, from shopping to social media to porn to whatever it is here. But I feel this cycle has come to an end where you're breaking that, you're freeing yourself from it because there's been this steady growth. So Sagittarius, whatever this is here for you, know that you have this opportunity to move forward, move on. And I love the picture here. Beautiful energy. You can see that they're entwined here, but she's holding up the world, but she has his support as well. And they blend beautifully and they're supported with each other's energy. This is victory, right? There were setbacks. I see that. You felt stuck. I see that as well. There may have even been lack of closure for a lot of you, but you had to close down this cycle because you knew you had to move on. Okay. And I do feel here that you have it built within you. Some of you, your soul purpose is letting go. Okay. Some of you, your soul purpose is wrapping up cycles that may come out as repetitive, right? Let's take a look at the recent past. Let's see how you've grown with the steady growth. What's coming in here for Sagittarius, please? 10 of Cups. Beautiful. We mentioned that earlier as well. So the 10 of Cups, it can be about feeling lovingly complete. For others of you, this can be about emotionally incomplete, right? Take it as it resonates to your story. We have both the light and the dark, or the shadow aspect of each energy here. And some of you had some deep family wounding, some childhood wounding that you were recovering from, but there's been a lot of growth. For some of you, you've built a family for yourself. You have maybe the marriage and the children and the family dynamics, but at times there's still this feeling of incomplete, right? There's still this piece of the puzzle that you feel may be missing. If you're looking out there for that piece of the puzzle, you're looking in the wrong spot here, Sag. This is within. That missing piece you hold, you already have within. So look inside for it here. You're not broken, right? Even though it may feel that way at times. You are a magnificent, intelligent, divine source of light and energy, right? This is an experience. You're not defined by any labels or any family traditions or societal standards of what this should look like on paper or a physical thing here. The 10 of Cups is about you being able to manifest that life that you want for yourself and feeling a sense of wholeness and complete. And a lot of you have taken this spiritual journey, whatever that may look like for you, this spiritual journey of healing and going within. And you've accomplished a lot. So pat yourself on the back. Just because there may not be maybe physical evidence yet, I'm going to say yet because it's in the workings here. If there isn't physical evidence yet of what it is that you want, be proud of yourself because internally I feel like you've shifted a lot. What are you manifesting? What are you bringing down to earth? Queen of Coins. This is the Queen of Pentacles. Now this Queen of Pentacles, she brings in peaceful abundance. Instead of wasting her energy on attaching herself to things, to people, to places, to material goods, to attaching herself to the way she maybe looks, right? She releases those attachments in order to bring in more abundance. So if you, Sagittarius, were attached to something that happened in the past or some old wounding, this is what you're doing. You're releasing. And I can't say this enough in your reading. There's this energy here of detaching from things that have caused you hurt or pain or labels or defined you or things that were difficult seeing growing up, right? This is about you bringing in more peace. The Queen of Pentacles here, Queen of Coins, she's one of the most resourceful energies that there is. She's the most resourceful queen. She knows how to use what she has. And I feel that you know what tools to use in your spiritual tool belt, your physical one, in order for you to live your best life. So pat yourself on the back here again, Sagittarius, because you've come a long way and you're starting to create now here on earth the life that you feel is shifting within you. You're going to see it in your outer world. What's going on in the near future? What do we have here for Sagittarius, please? They're giving me the name Tori or Torre. I almost feel like there's a little bit of an accent or the A, the E that I'm getting here, or the I could be in the A. I hope that makes sense. So again, Tori or Torre, maybe that's a last name, maybe it's a place, maybe it's in a different language that I don't understand. Please take it as it resonates. What are you manifesting? 4 of Coins, it's in reverse. Take a look at the top line. Letting go. Letting go instead of hanging on, right? Instead of hanging on to those attachments, hanging on to that behavior, that person, that feeling of scarcity, of not belonging, of not feeling loved or worthy or seen or heard. You're letting it go. And what do we say is one of your key themes here is letting go? 4 of Coins. The way I like to send out this example, if you open your hands and you imagine water being poured into your hands, right? You can create a little cup out of your hand here and pour the water in, but when you squeeze it too hard, that water is going to come pouring out of your fingers, of your hand, right? Because it's too tight. You got to be, but if it's too loose, right? If you have your hand open too loosely, then that water, it's just going to pour out everywhere. So this is what happens with energy, with love, right? If you squeeze onto it too much, then it's going to just spew out. And if you're not hanging on to it, then it's not going to stay either. You have to find that fine balance and be able to find what that is for you and let it flow without detachment here. And so I feel one of the biggest struggles for you, Sagittarius, is letting go when you need to let go. I feel like that's one of the biggest struggles we have having this human experience, but you're finally releasing and letting go of something that was challenging or struggling to you in the past. Could be with the help of a loved one, with the help of a good trusted friend or a professional. But again, I love to see this 4 of Coins showing up in reverse. You're letting go. Yes. All right, let's take a look at how you're feeling. How are you doing? How are you? Some of you are still working on releasing some of that past trauma, whether that was abuse, like I mentioned earlier, whether it's not feeling seen or heard. Some of you, you're accepting the past, and I see that happening here for you. You are accepting it, but you're letting it go, and that's how you finally are able to have that freedom. Okay, some of you grew up on a farm, grew up near horses, rode horses. Maybe you have horses as well. Some of you may have a horse as a power animal or a totem. But the 9 of Swords can be at times about reliving that past anguish. especially if you've gone through a traumatic time. If there has been a story specifically or many that stand out in your mind's eye, it can be difficult for you to move forward when that old story is replaying itself over and over and over, blocking you from having and achieving that 10 of cups that you're seeking here for yourself. But I feel because you're letting it go, you're accepting, look at the top phrase there, accepting past trauma and knowing that something happened for you, not to you. Okay, there's such a big difference there. Let's take a look at your environment. What's going on in the energy around you? What do we have here for Sagittarius, please? The Lovers. Who's looking for love, right? Gemini energy here. For some of you, this is about choosing to love again, choosing the heart. It's about unconditional love versus conditional. Now, some of you, you only received conditional love when you were a child. Maybe you were only loved when you got good grades. You were only loved when you were a good little girl or a good little boy, right? Maybe there were conditions put upon you by a past lover. Maybe they only loved you if you were a certain way or you looked a certain way. Right? This is about euphoric choices versus haunting choices. If you're letting the past choices come in and define your future, then you are missing out on the present. And if you are staying open in that heart chakra and you're making healthy heart choices that feel good to you, that vibrate with your soul's frequency, with the energy of your truth, then you are living in a place of the heart. And this is unconditional love for self and for others. There's forgiveness here as well. When the Lovers shows up here, this is about balanced decisions. It is about soul contracts. It is about partnerships, trusting in another, trusting in yourself, bringing in harmony, and staying decisive, because some of you may be wavering, going back and forth. Do I let them go? Do I not? Do I hang on to this past energy, or can I move forward? And it's not that we don't want to let go of the past. It's the difference between knowing how to, right? And so I feel like you are learning how to live and lead more with the heart than in a place of fear, right? Living more in that unconditional versus the conditional. You are so lovable, Sagittarius. Wrap yourself up here, hold yourself, love yourself, hug yourself. And if you have a partner, if you have a friend, if you have a lover, wrap them up as well. Just embrace them. Love them through all the hurt, through all the pain, through the surface, just to that soul to soul level. There is contact here. Now, some of you, there could be a passionate new beginning I'm getting as well. That could be that sweet surprise. Let's take a look here at your hopes and fears. What are your hopes? What are your fears? What do we have, Sag? Hopes and fears. Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords showing up here. It's not the Knight of Cups that I was getting earlier. It's the Knight of Swords, but it is in the fear position as well as hopes. The fear is chaos, right? You don't want someone to come in and out just as quickly. You don't want them to leave just as quickly as they came. You don't want something to be chaotic if you go through a divorce, right? You don't want to stir the pot by revealing a family secret or telling a family member or a friend how you really feel. But sometimes shit has got to hit the fan. Sometimes we have to do the hard things, right? Sometimes we have to have that difficult conversation. Sometimes we have to endure some challenging things in order to move forward on our soul's path. But this Knight of Swords says you have what it takes to move forward here in triumph. Your hope is that you can become this unstoppable force, right? This is it. Say it with me. You are an unstoppable force, Sagittarius. You have what it takes to bulldoze through. And it doesn't mean that, you're cutting corners or you're not doing the work. It means that you're strong enough to do the work. You're strong enough to be able to take corners, take, shortcuts, because you've already done it. You've already put in the work. So it's not even really a shortcut. It's a long time coming of finally being able to get someplace quite quicker. I'm getting here quantum leaps as well. Some of you are finding that your healing process is quite speedy versus in the past. It may have been quite a while to speed things up because we're evolving. Our frequency is shifting. We're not meant to stay in an energy of suffering. Okay, so that's coming in. Let's take a look at your final outcome. What is the final outcome here? What do we have? There's a card that flipped. Final outcome, King of Cups. Even better yet, we said Knight of Cups, but I'll take the King any day. The King of Cups is all about peaceful diplomacy, right? It is about being able to control your emotions instead of letting them control you. The King of Cups is someone who's very loving, very supportive, emotionally intelligent, patient, compassionate. This is a person who doesn't let their emotions get the best of them. They're able to balance them out, right? They're not the person that takes things, to heart on such a deep level where it interferes with the outcome, right? Like the Four Agreement says, take nothing personally, right? He realizes and understands, but he is one of the most loving. Now, when he's the flip side, when he's not living in his, light, we'll call it, with the King of Cups, he can certainly take things emotionally, or he's just not in touch with his emotions. He can come across as untrustworthy because he doesn't want to get hurt. And I feel if this is the energy that you are embodying, if this is the archetype, that may have been you in the past, but you've grown and you've matured. If this is someone you are wanting to bring into your world or someone that's already in here, someone else has matured as well. And there's more peace showing up. Instead of emotions that are all over the place, I feel like this is diplomatic love. Okay, this is about finding balance, finding peace. And I'm also getting here, for those of you that are dealing with maybe an ex, maybe the father of a children, mother of children here, I feel like there's going to be a coming together where the both of you can compromise or to agree to disagree or do something for the betterment of maybe your children without bickering, without going back and forth, right? Because that may have been a struggle. And I do feel here also this King of Cups. Some of you have a father who's crossed over, who's very proud and loves you very, very much. Please take that as it resonates. All right. Sagittarius, let's get a message from the wisdom of the Oracle. What do we have here for Sagittarius? Orphans. Yeah, this makes sense with what we've been talking about. Remember what I said in the very beginning of your reading? Some of you felt not heard, not seen. Some of you may have been adopted. Some of you may have felt like the black sheep in the family. Maybe you were cast out, set aside. For others of you, maybe you feel like you've been orphaned or singled out in love. This is a sense of loss, maybe even feeling like an identity crisis. It is recognizing at times that you don't fit in. It's about the need to belong, uncertainty about your place, where you stand. As you shift and evolve and commit to your own growth, you long for support, but may be disappointed and hurt by others who are not providing what you feel you deserve. Perhaps you are drifting away from this relationship because you're in a different stage of personal growth. Perhaps you are in a new relationship and discovering that you don't quite share the same values and beliefs, so you feel left out. Unable to get to the intimate place of safety and belonging, take heart as Spirit knows you and loves you and will steer you in the direction of those who accept you as you are without artifice or agenda. Don't compromise yourself to belong. It won't be worth the price. Beautiful. Won't be worth the price. You're not going to be left out. Now, for some of you, you may still be stuck in that energy with the Six of Swords because the Six of Swords is needing change. I am going to read the protection message. The shadow side of this card speaks to the essence of abandonment. Perhaps you feel a need to remain apart because intimacy is too threatening. It also warns against creating inappropriate family structures in order to conceal old wounds. It's time to address the unhealthy alliances you formed and make a decision to heal the past. You will not be abandoned by the world if you claim yourself as whole. Not all relationships, Sagittarius, are dysfunctional, and not all of them will disappoint you. Don't abandon yourself. You can connect to others in a healthy way once you recognize your patterns and consciously choose to interrupt them. Life wants to love you. Let it. Wow. Ooh, got major goosebumps. A lot of emotion there as well. So some of you, this is going to touch a place deep. This is going to touch you on a soul level. And if this resonates, I suggest you come back to this reading, take a look, deep dive into these energies here and know that you're not going to be left out. Even though you may have gone through some challenges and some struggles with family, with love, you are more than enough, Sagittarius. And it's important for you to acknowledge and to remember your worth. Thank you so much for tuning in and being here. I hope this resonates. If so, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. It certainly does help the divine channel messages get to those that need it most. If you haven't already hit that subscribe and bell button and you are vibing with the energy of the channel, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for being here, Sag. Lots of love.